Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's awful. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, but I mean, I've been doing several meetings recently like this, and it's not coming up right. Okay, hang on a minute. I think what I'm going to do is just, I think I will start a new one. I'm just going to try to do a different one and just, because that, for some reason, that one is not. Maybe I should, let me see. Hang on a second. I might be able to. Start. Let's see. Okay. Would you like to start this meeting? Start. Jim Cutler. Can't open. Have you tried going back on right now and it won't let you? Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing you in it. It says participants. Let's see. Unmute. But can you turn on your video? And for some reason, let's say ask to start video. Okay, there. Okay, I see you now. I just hung up the phone because of the feedback.
But now, wait a minute. I can't see you.
Do you see just my picture?
Oh, yeah, now I see you. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to switch that picture. That was one thing I was trying to do, was to switch it to just a picture of like the GRA banner or whatever, because
Yeah.
And then I was also trying to figure out a way to just have Jim, because that's something I haven't done before, to just have Jim in the recording. And
there you go.
Hey, instead of having that picture of me there.
Well, that's what happens with Zoom. I don't know that you can't, you've got to be seen, I guess. All of us are, but Jim, I'm not going to be in it, of course. I'm handing it over to him.
Okay, yeah, that would be good right there. That would be good. Okay, so hang on, Jim, because I had moved my stuff around here. I've got to go back and get my questions again. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. So,
okay.
what we're doing, we just ask these same questions of every candidate. And we'll just go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Okay. So, hello, I'm Joanna Hildreth from the Northwest Georgia Republican Assembly. First off, we want to thank you for agreeing to participate in our candidate interview.
Well, you're more than welcome.
Glad you could do it. We feel discussions like this serve to create a more informed voting electorate so we can make the best decision possible to elect the candidates that best represent our values. Also, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we're respecting and obeying all CDC guidelines and practicing social distancing. And of course, in your case, we are really doing that with the Zoom interview. Before we begin, you should know that each candidate for each office has received the exact same number of questions. We ask that you please keep answers to a reasonable time frame, using 2 to 3 minutes for each question to give the answers that you want to give. There's no right or wrong answer, just your answer. So let's begin. Would you please introduce yourself and state the office and district, if applicable, that you're running for?
Well, I'm Catoosa County Commissioner Jim Cutler, and I represent District 3 here in Catoosa County. And I'm running for Catoosa County Commissioner of District 3.
Okay, so we'll start with the questions now. The cities of Ringgold and Fort Oglethorpe have been advised by the Georgia Municipal Association, non-government agency, to severely restrict local business operations during this COVID-19 issue. Who is the county commission taking advice from concerning COVID-19? Is it a department of the Georgia state government or a voluntary association that Catoosa is a part of?
It's actually, we're following state and CDC guidelines as well as the federal government. So if the state comes out with a mandate, like we're waiting for Governor Kemp and we haven't heard anything yet, we'll follow whatever the state wants us to do or suggests that we do.
Do you agree with the approach that Governor Kemp has taken?
I really can't say that I agree or disagree. He's been a little slow, but I understand he's taking his time. So I don't know if time is a good thing, with this, but I'm not going to really criticize the governor. I think he's doing the best that he can with the information that he has.
Okay. What is the proper role of county government?
Well, basically to run the county is the primary goal.
And what are your two top priorities as county commissioner?
Well, one would be growth and a good fiscal responsibility. So we try to keep the, as you probably know, or I'm sure you know, our millage rate is the 5th lowest in the state of Georgia, meaning of 159 counties, we're in the 5th bottom 5 of the 5th lowest millage rate. And that helps property owners with property taxes and such. So just try to be very financially sound with the county's money.
Could you educate the citizens that watch this interview about how you would plan to cut spending, lower taxes, and shrink the role of county government in proportion to the drastic fall in economic revenue that will soon be coming?
Well, we certainly hope that there's no drastic fall in revenue. So far, we got our SPLOST numbers for March, and we're running at 80%, which is pretty normal. And actually, we're about $90,000 ahead of last year. So far, knock on wood, and keep your fingers crossed, everything seems to be going pretty well. As Joanna, that's really a month-to-month basis to see just what is coming into the county. And then we just have to adjust the departments, the budgets and such, to meet the needs. We don't want to overspend, certainly, so we want to spend the guidelines that we've set up.
Okay. Will you pledge on this video that you will never raise Catoosa County citizens' taxes via millage rate increase, use local option sales tax, or increase spending?
I would not be in favor of raising taxes. That would be a last resort, but I can't pledge, because you never know what the dire situation for the county might be. So I will do my best not to raise taxes. How's that? And so far, we've not raised taxes.
What would be a proactive way to manage the budget anticipating this possible severe economic downturn?
Well, again, we have to review the monies that are coming in on a monthly basis and see how that performs to our projections that we've made financially for the county. Certainly, you don't want your department heads to overspend, so maybe some projects that we had planned are going to get minimized or even deleted. So it's just going to be on a month-to-month basis. We don't see a huge downturn, but I'm sure there will be some, and again, we won't know until we get the numbers.
Can you pledge here on camera that you'll find ways to cut each department by a modest 5% or even bolder 10%?
Well, I can't pledge on a certain percentage. I can tell you that we will review and look at it on a month-to-month basis to see what monies are coming in. And if we don't have the monies to pay for a project or whatever, we'll probably have to cut some department budgets. So I can tell you that would happen. But you know, I can't pledge really anything until we see what comes in. But I'm not in favor of raising taxes, so.
How often do you meet with department heads to see if current projects are successful or are revenue neutral, or to find out if they're costing citizens more than initially projected?
Well, they meet with the department heads at least once a month. We go over budgets and such and make sure that they're operating within their guidelines that are set forth in the budget. We don't really, you know, I mean, monitor that. Well, I guess the answer would be on a month-to-month basis. We meet with them.
Can you pledge here that you will never vote to propose another T-SPLOST referendum? No.
I can't pledge that, because if the citizens want it, then we'll have another T-SPLOST.
Okay. As commissioner, will you vote to return public meetings to previous policy that allowed spontaneous appearances from concerned citizens?
We just have to play it on a like Chuck Harris said, on a 6-month basis, just kind of review it all the time. Again, the pledging is hard because you can't pledge something that you don't know what it's going to turn out to be.
Right.
So right now, I think that what we've tried to do is add some order and some organization to public appearances. So right now, it seems to me that it's running pretty good.
Okay.
People, Joanna, I say that because I've always thought it was curious that the people that stand up and complain about the lack of freedom of speech are speaking during the appearances.
That particular question was not about pledging, but just wondering if you would vote to return to that.
Would I entertain it? Certainly.
To what degree do you feel the county is a ward of the state, that it could not exist without the aid of taxpayers in other counties? So another way of putting it, with current situations in mind, if the county was required to support itself without the help of taxpayers in other counties and states, could it do it?
Well, I'm a little confused by your question. I'm not aware that we get any help from other counties financially. I mean, every county stands on their own and on their own budget.
Well, people.
I mean, I don't know if that's what you mean, or
people coming in to shop, I guess. That's what we're looking at there.
Well, I mean, you know, people coming in to shop is important for local option sales tax and is important for SPLOST. I mean, look at Costco. About once a week, I drive through their parking lot, especially on the weekends, and gee, many Christmas, there's cars there from Walker County, Hamilton County, Murray County, Bradley County. So they're coming in from all over the area, and that certainly helps Catoosa County.
Our economic development investments, such as working with the Chamber of Commerce, maintaining dues with Senator Mullis's Regional Authority, or the new expense for the Economic Development Department, paying off for the citizens who fund them? And could you please share some examples of businesses that have emerged to any of
Hey,
these?
Joanna, I'm sorry. I've been waiting on a call from a customer, and my phone just went off. So I did not hear your question. I'm sorry.
Okay. Our economic development investments, such as working with the Chamber of Commerce, maintaining dues with Senator Mullis's Regional Authority, or the new expense in the Economic Development Department, paying off for the citizens who fund them. And could you please share some examples of businesses that have emerged due to any of these economic development partnerships that you feel would provide jobs that pay a living wage or more than household wages, so the average income rises?
Well, that's a lengthy question.
We can do it. We can break it into two parts. The first was, are these different economic development investments paying off for the citizens who fund them?
Okay. I think so, because remember, what we're trying to do is promote business to come to Catoosa County. And that's why you added in your original question, I think, too, about partnering with the chamber. The chamber, many counties partner with the chamber unit, so that's not unusual. You know, as far as attracting new businesses coming in, we're constantly, you know, looking for new ways to encourage people to come. We just are working with 2 firms now that are looking at that 40-acre pad down by Truck City. So it's a long process, but you need somebody to be aware of grants and what's available and what companies are looking and how the county is presented.
Could you please share some examples of businesses that have emerged due to any of these economic development partnerships that you feel would provide jobs that pay a living wage?
Well, of course, Costco would be one example of that was years ago, but it was a good example of working together with the Joint Development Authority and our economic development. There's some projects that I can't really talk about that are in the mix, like I said earlier. The Dunkin' Donuts locating here was part of the economic development. There's just many things that are in the works that I just can't really talk about.
A lot of citizens want to know how we arrived at a place where roads were so underfunded for so long that we had to opt for another sales tax. Do we have enough money through LOST, SPLOST, and general revenue to fund road construction for the next 5 years?
Well, I think we ought to differentiate between sales tax and T-SPLOST. I think that's what you're referring to. T-SPLOST was a straight usage tax. In other words, if you bought products or shopped in Catoosa County, regardless of what county you were from or where you were, you know, what state you were from, that penny per $1 went to the coffers of Catoosa County to help with our road projects. So, I mean, that was an important project. Right now, we try to budget for the roads, and we rely on some state monies, and every now and then we do get some, what they call a TIP grant from the federal government. We'll probably do or resurface about 18 miles of roads in Catoosa County. Now, to give you an example, pardon me, to give you an example, Walker County, who is going through some financial stress, Shannon Whitfield introduced a T-SPLOST several years ago, and it passed. And they have now resurfaced over 51 miles of road. So that's how a T-SPLOST, the dollars raised by a T-SPLOST can help. So you just improve your budget for your roads. I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, said, do we have enough money through the current funding, LOST, SPLOST, and general revenue to fund road construction for the next 5 years?
Well, for the next 5, well, yeah. I mean, depending, we have to stay within the budget, but yeah.
What percentage of the county budget is used on the betterment of the county's roads? And are roads a priority?
I think gosh, I'd have to get the budget out, but I'm pretty sure Buster has around 12 to 14 million a year. And that does not include state money or the money we may get from the federal government. We have enough money to do, Joanna, about 14 to 18 miles of roads a year to resurface.
Well, we're at the last question.
Oh.
Will you pledge to propose an ordinance that makes Catoosa County a sanctuary for the Second Amendment and serves to safeguard our citizens from unconstitutional gun ownership restrictions?
Well, it's interesting you'd ask that, because I can't pledge, but I'm a staunch defender of the Second Amendment rights that people have, the right to bear arms and own a gun. Stephen Henry, our chairman, has been working with the Second Amendment group. And at our last meeting, we were going to issue a declaration of support that they agreed to the wording, and that was all worked out. And unfortunately, with the virus, you know, we couldn't do it. But that'll be in the works. So I can't pledge, but I mean, certainly we support the Second Amendment, and of course, we've pledged to follow the Constitution of the the state of Georgia and the Constitution of the United States, so we're obligated to follow those too. But definitely, I think both constitutions have the right to bear arms.
Okay, well, thank you for the answers to all those questions. And now you want to take a few minutes and wrap it up? Just say whatever you'd like to.
Well, I appreciate that. I enjoy working with the county. I enjoy representing the people in District 3, of course. That's my priority along with the county, so I just would appreciate their vote and support. I have a slogan of experience you can trust. I've been doing this now for 3 terms, so I'm running for a 4th term, and I would like to, hopefully I've got the trust of the people in District 3, so I would like to continue that and ask for their vote. And if they have any questions, of course, they can always contact me through the county or on my personal phone, which is listed. So anyway, I've just thanks Joanna for the opportunity with your group, and I enjoyed talking to you. And again, I appreciate people's support and their vote in the upcoming election. So thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. We do appreciate your time. And so I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting now.
Oh, okay. I'm
And-
sorry.
Well, no,
Hey,
that's
Joanna,
fine. So, yes.
Joanna, let me ask you this. Did you want a whole biography or just me inviting people to vote?
If you want to say, if you'd like to say more right now to everyone, you're welcome to.
Well, we talk about experience, and of course, I just wanted people to know that I am a member of the Catoosa County Health Board. And in fact, we're going to be discussing the virus in the next week or two. I'm also a member of the Northwest Georgia Regional Commission. I represent the county on that. So that's a commission of 14 member counties in Northwest Georgia that we look at all grant monies coming in and how we distribute those amongst the 14 counties. And of course, I've been past president of the Ringgold Kiwanis Club. I'm senior vice commander of the American Legion Post 40 here in Ringgold. So I've tried to remain very active in the community, and I've tried to represent the people of District 3 and Catoosa County to the best of my ability.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, Joanna.
All right. We'll be letting you know when this is up on the internet for you to be able to share with people.
Okay, well, thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.